I need to keep my invite to the home game, so I'm just going to go ahead and pick Cheadle in a huge upset.
Don's going to be happy about that call, Ali.
That's the idea.
Blinds 3 and 600. Cheadle looks at ace-6 suited and limps in. Doyle with 10-9.
Plus 1,200.
Raises to 1,800.
So the raisable hand limped and the checkable hand raised.
Don calls.
Call 18.
Brunson pairs his 9. Cheadle with the flush draw.
Doyle with control of the pot has outflopped Don here.
Doyle bets 2,400.
Standard size bet in consideration of the pot size, 2/3.
Don calls.
Don had the option to play that draw aggressively there. Instead, he's now put himself in a position where this big bet you see from Doyle on the turn doesn't lay him the correct price to make a call.
Doyle.
Doyle made that bet after adding an open-ended straight draw.
The pros of smooth calling on the flop is that you disguise the draw. Sometimes you can freeze your opponent. The cons,
I think I missed a bet.
or that you generally have to improve in order to win, and you can't win it right there on the flop.
Call 6,000.
Don calls, but he doesn't seem happy about it.
That's mathematically incorrect play by Don.
River pairs the board. Brunson's 2-pair best. He reaches for his chips, but before Doyle can bet, Don folds.
Man, I had a big hand to start with. I should have raised. Jeez. Nice hand.
20/20 hindsight.
That makes my stomach hurt.
As Cheadle continues his own table talk at table 2, Jennifer Harmon all in and facing a staggering chip deficit against 07 main event champ Jerry Yang.
See what happens when we blink?
Jack and club, 7 of diamonds.
I'm not sure how we got to this point,
Take a look at the flop.
but Jennifer Harmon is at least in good shape heading to the flop, all in and
Ace
at
right in the
risk.
window, 10 behind it.
Hard to imagine a better
Off 2
flop for Jennifer.
Harmon. Here's the turn.
Yang picks up a
And
gut shot
king.
straight draw.
He had to
the
pick up
straight
something to give him a glimmer of hope of closing
river.
Jennifer out. She needs to fade a queen.
And
The
a full house
boat
for
seals the
Jennifer
deal
Harmon,
for
doubles
Harmon.
up.
She's going to double up and stay alive.
Gonna take quite a few more of those to get her back into this match, though.
Now back to table 4, where Brunson's chip lead sits at nearly 2-1 over Cheadle.
Most of that lead came courtesy of Don's missed flush draw.
With 5 deuce, Cheadle limps in. Doyle with ace-10 suited. Brunson pairs his 10, Cheadle with the flush draw. Doyle checks. And Don bets 1,700.
One more.
Doyle raises to 5,700, and quickly Don says he's all in.
I call.
And Doyle calls
That's
it.
trouble for me.
Let's take a look at the cards.
Cheadle knows it. He says he's in trouble, and indeed he is.
Good luck, Don.
Thanks, sir.
Don playing the draw aggressively this time, just unlucky to be up against top pair, top kicker.
King of clubs, no help to Don. Doyle's 10 still lead.
Down to a diamond and a diamond only for Don to double up and stay alive.
Oh, you said that dramatically.
Doyle dodges the diamonds, and he'll move into the money.
This match wrapped up a lot quicker than I thought it would.
I think I have tissue for me.
Send some of those tissues this way. I just went 0 for 1 on the day.
Cards now.
Trouble at table 1 for 08 champ Chris Ferguson. A 7-1 chip deficit up against Dennis Phillips' pocket kings.
He's in a lot of trouble at this point.
There you go.
Needs a 7 or a queen, as you see. Anything else, and Dennis Phillips is moving on.
Here's the river. And it's a
Phillips
9.
Kings
Phillips.
KO
Swing 16
one of the
now.
kings of the game. Dennis will advance while former champ Ferguson is done.
Congratulations. Hard luck.
Dennis showing it was no fluke that he made the 08 World Series main event final table.
Let's send it down to Leanne.
Don, was it as hard as you thought it was going to be?
Well, I think I made it a little easier by playing so badly.
I mean, he is Doyle Brunson.
No, he is. And he obviously plays very, very well. But playing very, very bad helps.
Well, how did you think he played?
He played okay. I limped in with a big hand, you know, and he flopped the flush draw, and we just got it all in.
All right. Are you going to win one for the old card?
I'm going to try, yeah.
All right. Good luck, Doyle. Thanks, Don.
So the former champ Chris Ferguson meets an unexpected dead end in newcomer Dennis Phillips, who adds a pretty impressive line item to his resume. And Don Cheadle has sprung upsets here before, but his run this year is over as the legendary Doyle Brunson moves on.
If Playgirl is offering me money to pose naked for a shot, I think that, it depends on how much money they offered, but I might do it.
Well, we've seen the top so far, so I will ask him not to.
He needs to borrow my bra, for sure. Wow. Just wow. That's fun.
Well, I'm not hungry anymore.
Where's the nearest trash can?
I don't know if people want to see that, honestly. No offense, Phil.
Can I make a counter offer? So he won't?
Can I short that magazine company?
I'm not interested in buying that issue.
What's the magazine so I don't buy it?
I will not buy that magazine.
I just hope I don't have to see that magazine.
Oh my gosh. He would do anything to be infamous or famous.
Not shocked at all that Phil Hellmuth would pose for anything that gets him more attention.
He's a hell of a marketer and a great self-promoter, and you got to give it to the guy.
He's an enigma.
He's a stone-cold idiot.
Phil has to be feeling rather naked at the moment, hiding behind a 3-1 chip deficit against Annette Obrestad.
I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with those responses in that package there. You got some pretty funny people out in the poker community.
Lines are now 4 and 800. Phil with 6-4 decides to limp in. Annette looks down at Jack Deuce. She checks.
Neither player holding anything to write home about.
Obrestad pairs her jack. She checks. Phil bets 900.
Taking a little stab in position. Nothing wrong with that.
Annette calls.
And nothing wrong with that either. Her hand is weak enough not to want to check raise and open the action to a potential 3-bet, which you'd probably have to fold to.
Turn misses both players. Check, check.
Hellmuth shutting down.
River pairs the board, Annette with 2 pair. She bets 2,300.
That should mark the end of this hand.
Phil folds. He just cannot make a hand, and that accompanied by constant pressure from the young Norwegian seems to be getting to him.
You said it. Time to take a walk.
You having fun over there, Oral?
Taking a break?
No, I'm playing.
Hellmuth on walkabout.
Always makes time to check in with the resident celebrities.
I think Annette's looking around saying, does he always do this?
Yeah, not too many players will actually get up and leave the match right in the middle.
Pocket jacks for Annette. She raises to 2,000. Ace-9 suited for Phil. He calls.
Check.
Phil pairs his 9.
He checked in the dark here. 1 overcard to Obrestad's jacks, but she doesn't want to check and cede control of the pot here.
She bets 2,500.
Hellmuth has a pretty strong hand. Just going to call, though, because you hate to check raise and get 3-bet. Then you got to release.
Annette adds an open-ended straight draw.
Not a bad turn card for her.
Check, check.
That's a pretty conservative check in position with second pair to the board and an open-ender.
And she improves to the straight on the river.
11.
Phil bets 1,100.
Super small defensive bet from Phil Hellmuth here.
I'm all in.
Annette puts Phil all in.
She's not worried about a club draw.
Wow, wow. I'm not saying what I'm going to do. My heart says I'm supposed to ship it in there is what my heart says. I mean, you already hit a 2-outer on me. What'd you hit this time? Runner, runner, or some BS? I know that you think that's a weak bet, so I played this hand to trap you from the start. What'd you do? You just got lucky again? And that's just so sick. You're just lucky that the board comes where you can even make a bluff? I mean, what is this? You're so lucky this hand, one way or the other. Either to be able to make a bluff or to have hit some weird thing. Makes me sick. Wow. You've seen the sick calls that I make. You know I can't be bluffing.
All Phil has is a pair of 9s here, but the deliberation is the product of a few things. Annette's aggressive reputation, the fact that she checked the turn,